welcome for Ceri Dipple.
Right, must be memorable. So a few of you were here last month at Club Night when I did a minute intro as to what tonight was going to be about. It turns out London's a really small place and I can't actually talk about what I was going to share, unfortunately. So I went back to the drawing board and with the help of Anik, 2.5 hours Anik, you'll never get back, I'm sorry about that, sort of came up with something else that I can share. Something that I very much have permission to share, but something I've never given myself permission to talk about before, and that's mental health. So I guess a few weeks ago it was World Mental Health Day, and I spent quite a lot of the day just reading through posts on various platforms, and whilst I agreed with a lot of the comments that were being posted, I felt like a bit of a hypocrite, to be honest, because I've never spoken about my own mental health and I've never really given myself permission to talk about it. So I've had a business for 10 years. Like Hazel said, I was 22 when I started it, and I guess the two are quite closely related, really. My business has suffered over the years because of my mental health, but also I guess my mental health suffered because of my business. And I guess through it sort of experiences, I'm the first to stand up and say, go and speak to somebody, go and get some help. And I guess I wrote a post called Do As I Say, Not As I Do, just to try and encourage people to stand up and talk. Over the years, more recently, sort of in the past 18 months, some of my staff members have really struggled. And there was one incident, one of our busiest days of the year, there was a big event going on locally, and one of the young guys in the shop isn't great under pressure situations, so we gave him some tasks that weren't consumer facing. They weren't time precious, which he didn't appreciate, to be honest. And towards the end of the day, we had some dirty crockery on a trolley, and he just got the trolley and launched it at me and just said, I don't get paid enough to do this shit. So I followed him out and just said, you will do that because I'm your boss and I pay you to do it. And I walked away because I've never sort of confronted a member of staff like that before, so I sort of gathered my thoughts. And walked back in, I thought I need to deal with this head on. And when I walked into the room, he was stood there in tears. He said, I just can't do this. I don't want to be here. I said, what do you mean you don't want to be here? He said, I just don't want to do this. I can't do this. I can't do life. And when he said that, I just sort of stopped and just thought, wow, okay. And it wasn't what I'd asked him to do that was bothering him. There was a lot more to it than that. But we just spoke for an hour, and bear in mind it was one of our busiest days of the year. We just stood there and chatted, and I advised him to go and speak to somebody and get some help, because I certainly wasn't the person to do that for him. And a couple of weeks later, he came to me and just said thank you, just really appreciated the talk. I'm going to go and get some help. And I guess that's just one example of how talking can help. Just chatting can make a bit of a difference. The irony is I don't do that myself, hence the name of the talk. Rarely do I stand up and talk about when I'm struggling, ask for help. And I think just incidents like the one sort of 18 months ago really sort of highlight the importance of just being able to talk, and yeah, sort of hence sort of do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. I have no idea how long that
is. Thank you, Ceri. Well, I think it's always hard to get up and share a personal story, isn't it? Especially when it's around mental health. But it's so important to get more dialogue going around mental health, I think. And so thank you for sharing that. And also the importance of listening. And sometimes that can be the most honourable thing you can do to somebody in trouble, isn't it? And sometimes the only thing they need. So thank you, Ceri. And I'll just pass you over to the judges.
Okay, so normally this would be the part where I go, oh, tweak this, look at this, change this. But I'm not going to do that this evening, because I'm actually going to give more of an acknowledgement. Because I remember when Ceri joined us, We did a boardroom, and she sat there. She says, I'm great on one-to-one. Put me in front of people, I freeze and I can't do it. Who can relate to that? Raise your hand. Who can relate to that on some level? You might not be it now. Right. So here's the interesting part. We run trainings, and we do a 2-day training. And every time it came to speaking, Ceri ran out the room. True? True story?
Yeah.
We do a section, you get up and speak, she'd run out the room. That section should come and sit back down. I'm like, Ceri, you need to keep going. You need to persevere. She goes, okay. But every time we'd be like, her turn, out the room. Come back in. And to see her tonight, stand here, one of our busiest nights in a long time, hold the stage, share what you shared. I don't want to give you any other feedback except I think that's brilliant. You are a testament to why we do what we do. And in that respect, hashtag use your voice for good. That came across as well. But more than anything, your perseverance, your tenacity, your unwillingness to give up, which is the entrepreneur in you as well, right? It transfers across. I think more than anything, I just want to acknowledge you for doing that tonight and for finally coming through. That does mean you're going nowhere and you're going to be staying with us for 6 more months. All right? But more than anything, I just want to say awesome. From that woman that I saw sitting there at the table who wouldn't dare speak in front of more than one person to speak in front of 60 people, that's incredible. And that's what I really want to say.
You can give me criticism afterwards.
Ceri, I want to ask you a question. You
Yeah.
said you changed what you were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I think you were brave, honest, and authentic, which was wonderful, and it shone through, and your pace was brilliant. I probably would not have succumbed and said, I mean, it was brilliant you shared that because it was lovely to hear the story. I probably would have got played safe because you've got such an incredible audience here of people who are your peers. And then you've got me here, which must be really scary. So I think you were incredibly brave to do that. I think you have got a lovely natural style. Don't lose that. And I think you gave yourself a hard time.
Okay,
But
thank you.
bloody good.
Thank you very much.